Let's talk about it, Chris. Let's talk about all the fake news that's out there, man.
Fake news about the housing market. That's what
right.
we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
We're going to talk about, is it a buyer's market in Colorado Springs? Sam, is it a buyer's market in Colorado Springs?
No, that's the end of the video.
Done. We're out. All right. Hey, listen. I know there's a lot of news about the housing market right now. Don't believe all of it. Believe some of it. Take everything with a grain of salt. What we want to do today is we just want to kind of chat through, is it a buyer's market in the Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak area? I'm not talking nationally. We're talking about right here in our local area. So I think the number one thing you have to do if you're going to talk about, is it a buyer's market, is probably need to define what is a buyer's market.
That's right.
All right, so what is a buyer's market? Historically, there's usually one data point that people talk about. What is it?
Inventory.
Amount of inventory.
Yep.
It used to be, they would say 6 months. Used to
Yeah.
hear that. It was like, if there's 6 months of inventory on the market. So what that meant is, based on however many homes are selling every month,
Yep.
if nothing new came on the market, how long would it take to sell off all the inventory on the market? So say if there's 600 homes on the market, and you're selling, the absorption rate is 100 homes a month are being sold, it would take 6 months to sell all the inventory.
Yep.
I think that's changed a little bit now.
Yeah, absorption rate's a little bit tricky. The number one driver of like pricing and activity that we're seeing in the market right now is interest rates, right?
For sure.
Everyone kind of knows that, so it's slowed down the rate of absorption a little bit, but it can be volatile, right?
Right,
Like
100%, yeah.
interest rates drop overnight by a whole point, like they kind of did last week.
Right, you're going to see a lot more of those homes being bought off the market.
Yeah.
So I think in today's world, I think it's more like 4 months. If there's 4 months of inventory, I think once you get to that level, now you're kind of talking, okay, we're going into a buyer's market right now. So that's one piece, is how many months of inventory there is. That's kind of this historical data point that people in the industry have used for decades.
Yeah.
Used to be 6 months. I think 4 months is now kind of a little bit more accurate. But the other thing that I think, and we talked about this yesterday, Sam and I were chatting about a client of ours right now, and this is a big thing, is I think you not only have to look at the months of inventory left, but just that general feel with buyers. Like, does a buyer have leverage? So, i.e., can you negotiate a little bit whenever you want to make an offer? That's step one. And then, do you have options to pick from? Because even if you feel, hey, based on what I'm seeing out there, I've got 5 different choices, but there's so much competition that you really don't have leverage because the seller's still getting multiple offers. Or maybe it's the case that, hey, you know what? I probably have some leverage because sellers aren't getting a lot of offers right now, but I still don't have anything to pick from. There's still one house that fits what I'm looking for.
Yep.
So if you don't have, as a buyer, if you don't have some leverage in negotiation, and or you don't have any options, but maybe 1 or 2 that really fit what you're looking for what's on the market, in my opinion, that's still a seller's market. The seller still has control of the situation.
Absolutely. And we are seeing people out there have leverage with their financing, but again, it's purely based on volatile and high interest rates right now, right? That's all it's based on. What we're not seeing is buyers having options, right? Because you have the home that you want, the bedrooms and the bathrooms and the layout and things like that. Pretty soon you start to find out that even though as of this morning we had about 1,300 total active listings on the market.
Okay, that's in the Pikes Peak area,
That's
right?
in the Pikes Peak area, which is not a lot, by the way.
Right, yeah.
Right? I mean, you've been doing this a long time. You've seen like 10,000 homes on the market?
Like I saw like 3,000 or 4,000. Yeah, I think probably back after the last crash. Yeah, I mean, it was stupid, probably close to 10,000 homes on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I do remember seeing it my first year in the business, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 homes on the market.
Yeah.
And that being a little more normal. We're seeing 1,300 right now, and what I'm not seeing for buyers a lot right now, especially the buyers that I have, if you're in that lower price point category, you don't have options right now.
I think that's a really good point, is you have to look at the different price segmentations of it, right? So if you're talking, luxury in our market, I kind of look at $1 million plus, probably technically if you say top 10% of the market, it's probably like 900,000 plus.
Yeah.
That side of the market, you are going to have more options because the luxury market and any real estate market, as you kind of see these trends, it gets drug up the hill. Whenever there's like rapid appreciation, the market speeds way up. Luxury kind of drags behind a little bit, but then whenever there's a little bit of a downturn, a little softening like we've seen now, usually luxury space will kind of lead that downturn a little bit. So right now, if you're buying at $1 million plus in the Pikes Peak area, you probably have a few choices, and you probably have some negotiating power, some leverage. So I would say at that price segment, we might be in a buyer's market. If we're not in a buyer's market, we're kind of even Steven right now.
Yeah.
But like you said, when you look at sub 350, that's a whole different story right now.
And really not even just sub 350. I'm hearing a lot of stories.
Sub 5s,
yeah,
maybe?
I'm hearing a lot of stories of people struggling sub 5. I know Francis has some clients right now that are even higher than that price point. Options can be really, really limited, getting all the way up into the 6s and 7s right now. Because think about it, if you're a seller and you know that interest rates are absolutely crazy right now, and you're able to hold on to
wait a little bit,
your piece of property because you can kind of afford to do so, like you're probably going to wait it out right now.
Yeah.
So there's just not a lot of options right now, right? So yeah, that's that piece.
Yeah.
Leverage, options, and inventory.
Inventory, definitely. So another thing that, because you mentioned interest rates earlier, so we got kind of those data points Sam just mentioned. Then the other thing I like to look at is interest rates, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes such a huge difference. And we've seen it over the last couple of years, is that when interest rates are super, super low, it's almost like free money, almost means free real estate to
It's free real estate.
people, like you're not paying a lot for the house that you're getting. Whenever those interest rates go up, like what we saw last fall, it makes a drastic difference.
Yeah.
And it just prices so many people out of the market, or it prices them out of the house that they had in their mind that they were okay with.
Yeah.
And they don't want to compromise too much more. So those interest rates that we've seen fluctuate from last September at 7+% to now we're down to, I think yesterday it was 5.875 for conventional. I think VA was like 5.5 maybe.
Yeah. When we checked this morning, I think we were up to like 6.25.
Okay,
6.4.
so there's definitely some fluctuation right now. Like Sam said, some volatility in the interest rates. So all those factors we talked about, inventory, do you have leverage, what are your options like, and then interest rates, and then another key point I think you have to take a look at is just how much time on market are you seeing?
Oh yeah, a lot right now. Definitely a lot right now. And again, that's partially it's due to a few different things. We're definitely seeing like some overpricing of homes out there.
Right, still seeing that some, yeah, for sure.
We're still seeing that some, and then of course like the volatile interest rates, and I would say those are probably honestly the two key factors to what we're seeing in days on market, because the nicest homes at the best price points are selling like hotcakes still.
That's what I was gonna say. Like if you price your home, it's funny. Like back up like 4 months ago, we were saying, man, like sellers are overpricing their stuff. They think it's still 6 months ago. Well, now some sellers and maybe some realtors that aren't giving sound counsel, they still think it's 10 months ago now.
Yeah.
So you have to realize where the market is. But I'm telling you, those sellers that have priced their homes properly and they're in good condition, they're just the nice houses out there, there's still multiple buyers looking for that product and they're selling fast.
Absolutely. I've got some clients of mine right now started at 350. Some things have changed with their interest rate, so we've gotten a little bit more room in our price point. We found the perfect home for them just the other day, a couple of weeks ago. Found the perfect home, went in to go see it, made the strongest offer that we absolutely could. It was listed right at 350. It was 2,100 square feet, right over by the university.
Solid,
Entire upstairs have been completely remodeled. Beautiful, beautiful home, well taken care of. What happened with that home? What do you think happened?
It sold for over list price, no doubt.
It sure did. They had like 30 showings in that weekend. It sold for $12K over list price with 7 offers. Right? And that's in this market. That's not 10 months ago. And that's because that home was priced so ridiculously competitive, that they were able to get the most out of it for this current market that they possibly could. And congrats to those sellers. Sucks for my buyers because, like on those listings, the best listings at the price points that they're at, the ones who have listed the most competitively, we're still seeing those homes sell in 2, 3, 4 days on market. Because demand is still there.
It's the ones that really take days on market up are, like I said, the higher end properties. There's just not as many buyers for them, and then also the homes that are overpriced from the very beginning. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that, kind of overall thoughts with this. I've got an overall thought.
Yeah.
If you want to know more about the Colorado Springs real estate market, or really anything about Colorado Springs, what should they do?
You should like and subscribe.
You definitely should. Hit the bell so you get all the notifications. You
That's
guys
right.
know we post new content every single week. We're to eat, work, live, play in Colorado Springs. So, hey, if you're thinking about a move out this way or you just want more info, definitely take the time to do that.
Absolutely.
Overall thoughts on buyer's market, though. My opinion is I don't think it's a buyer's market unless you're in the luxury segment. And then maybe you could make the argument that we're at the beginning of or in a buyer's market.
Yeah.
All of the price segments, I think it's still a seller's market. The thing is, it's all relative. 2 years ago, it was a crazy seller's market. We never seen anything like it. So now I think a lot of people, to include the news people, that's what they have in their mind.
Yep.
And they're comparing today to 2 years ago, when really we should compare today with just kind of historical norms over the last 10, 20 years.
Absolutely. Yeah, my overall thoughts, I have a couple of different reflections and recommendations,
Yeah.
right? It's all doom and gloom, like Chicken Little sky is falling out, like right now in the media space.
Right.
The media's behind on this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Like, maybe it's not fake news, okay, whatever. Like, but they're behind on this, absolutely. We are, at least in our local market, I know this isn't a representation of the national trends out there.
Right, sure, yeah.
And every market space out there. In our local market, we are not in a buyer's market overall.
Concur.
Okay? My recommendation would be, if you've been on the fence, like, you know what rates are today, make your move today.
Yeah.
Make your move today, because nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. And we've been keeping track of our local market stats for the last 17 weeks. You know what I saw this morning? A 21% increase in buyer activity.
21%. Rates, I'm telling you, whenever they drop below 6%, it's a psychological thing, I feel like, with a lot of today's home buyers.
Yep.
When it dropped below that, it seemed like buyers were coming out of the woodwork right now.
Oh, yeah. And what do I mean by a 21% increase in buyer activity? I mean, from this week to the average of the last 16 weeks, we've seen 21% more homes go under contract than we have in the average of the last 16 weeks.
And the inventory levels haven't drastically went up. So it's not just like, oh, there's more homes for sale, so of course there's going to be more sales. We're talking like a percentage of sales. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And we, here in our local market, we're headed into the springtime rush. There's going to be a lot of military PCSing in and out. I don't know if we necessarily see a crazy inventory change, a crazy inventory jump. Maybe we do. I don't know. But I do know we are going to continue to see an increase in buyer activity.
Yeah.
And everyone knows when demand is higher than supply, we get price issues again.
Right,
So
yeah.
if you're sitting on the fence, if you're thinking about it, especially if you're thinking about making a move to our market, talk to your local realtor,
100%.
talk to your local lender, and get your plan together today and get started.
Yeah. And just at least evaluate all your options. That's a big takeaway, I think, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Not a buyer's market, man. That's all I've got.
Not a buyer's market. Peace out.
See you guys.